to the war
exactly
and its
just
tangible
the
impact
mass
here
casualties
on
that
the
have
streets of Palestine.
What we know for sure, Jake, is that there has just been an astonishing
Hostages still being held in Gaza. Just 4 of them have been released earlier.
It's been 1 month since the October 7th massacre of at least...
Every battle has its tools and every war its arenas. So what about a Zionist project that accepts neither addition nor division? A project with countless tools based on shaping global public opinion to adopt a narrative claiming that a chosen people seeks to build a national homeland on a land that isn't theirs called Israel, not Palestine. This narrative is followed by a repeated storyline portraying them as a unique cultural island in a bloody Middle East. In contrast, there is a just narrative rooted in the Palestinian cause clinging to the land and identity. It views Israel as a colonial occupation that stole the land, killed and displaced people, and falsified history under fabricated political and ideological pretexts. Israeli propaganda didn't operate in isolation, nor did it rise to dominate global media by chance. It infiltrated every corner of the Fourth Estate. Massive resources, financial, human, and technological, were mobilized for it. Over the years, from the Basel Conference to World War II and to the present day, this propaganda infiltrated cinema, radio, television, newspapers, forums, and conferences, eventually dominating the digital world and social media platforms, even manipulating algorithms. Thus, it is unsurprising to see Israeli news adopted by Western media. Stories that take center stage, supported by analysts, writers, and officials with clear biases, while the opposing narrative is blatantly and deliberately ignored. For example, the Israeli media front continuously attacks any representation of the Palestinian truth, targeting those who carry its torch.
We stand with Israel.
I love Israel. I love Israel.
The bond between our two countries is unbreakable.
The eternal friendship
relationship is very important.
We are you and you are us.
It crafts propaganda to justify the crimes of the occupation, even compromising the supposed neutrality of social media platforms. These platforms delete videos, posts, or tweets that counter the Israeli perspective, citing claims of violent content or other baseless pretexts. This reality prompted Human Rights Watch in 2023 to issue a report highlighting Meta's strict censorship of pro-Palestinian content, removing or restricting it, blocking interactions, banning live broadcasts, or even permanently deleting accounts. The organization concluded that Meta's censorship stifles Palestinian freedom of expression and exacerbates their suffering. Statistics show over 5,450 violations of Palestinian digital content during the first 4 months of 2024 alone. Instagram accounted for 32% of these violations, Facebook 26%, WhatsApp 16%, TikTok 14%, and X, formerly Twitter, 12%. Such violations are never seen with Israeli content, which is promoted freely without oversight. On the ground, the reality is even harsher. For example, the occupation committed massacres at the Baptist Hospital and the tents of Khan Yunis, resulting in hundreds of martyrs and injured civilians.
There is a list.
Children burned and women killed.
This list, in Arabic.
What is this, you may ask? Hamas tunnels. This is a map of Hamas.
This guide is a manual to create weapons of mass destruction.
The scenes were shocking. Yet Israeli media quickly mobilized, blaming resistance rockets or fighters, until independent investigative platforms debunked these false narratives, exposing the fabricated lies. Every time the occupation's lies were revealed, it attempted to concoct new ones. This manipulation of facts is systematic. Settlements are called neighborhoods. Al-Aqsa Mosque becomes the Temple Mount. Palestinians are labeled terrorists. And the rule of thumb is that repeating a lie often enough makes it accepted as truth. Israeli propaganda's dominance over media and social platforms faces a growing Palestinian narrative that to some extent succeeded in altering stereotypical discourse and reshaping the media confrontation. This narrative is rooted in truth, presenting events as they are, live and raw, while resisting significant challenges. Experts note that this battle takes place on multiple fronts, debunking the occupation's lies such as denying claims of rape or decapitation, and focusing on Gaza's humanitarian aspects with terms like ethnic cleansing and genocide, directly challenging Israeli propaganda. Moreover, the Palestinian Narrative documents history, walking audiences through the alleys of Jerusalem, the beaches of Haifa, the olives of the West Bank, and the oranges of Jaffa. Given the Zionist lobby's dominance over traditional media, Palestinians and their supporters turned to the digital space and social platforms as bridges for truth under censorship's shadow. They focused on words and algorithms, exposing Israeli crimes in raw detail. They succeeded in mobilizing a broad base of free-minded youth and influencers worldwide, rallying them in support of the Palestinian cause. This effort bore fruit, particularly among Generation Z and Generation Alpha, embarrassing the Israeli occupation repeatedly, even in its supporting societies. Protests and voices in elite European and American universities attest to this, as does the erosion of the fear of being accused of anti-Semitism. Some political analysts and observers attribute part of the success to those steadfast on the media front, who contributed to making Netanyahu a subject for the International Criminal Court. Ultimately, Palestinian advocates succeeded in shifting the conflict to a new dimension, breaking it free from the confines of political salons and into the global public domain. They moved from traditional media constraints to the digital realm, a thorny path filled with challenges that require perseverance for prolonged battle. The Palestinian narrative has now entered a new phase,